Everyone, thank you for joining us today for our webinar. So just to introduce myself, I'm Katie. I'm the B2B Marketing Officer here at the Vegan Society. So this webinar today is to go alongside the release of our white paper that's coming out next week, the Vegan Trademarks Introduction to Vegan Product Categories. Obviously, all of you guys will get an advanced copy and you'll get an email after today's session where you can download that for you. So before we start today, I just wanted to go over a few housekeeping bits. So we will be recording today's session and we'll send that out to you alongside the white paper. There's also the slide deck that's available for you to download in your handouts now. Your video and audio for today is going to be off throughout the session, but there's a chat box, and if you have any questions for our Q&A session that's going to take place at the end, if you just pop them in the questions box or the chat box, and we'll answer as many of those as possible. Okay, so with that covered, we can start today's session. I'll just quickly go over what we'll be covering today. We will start with an introduction into the Vegan Society and the global rise in veganism. Then we will cover labelling and the standards that come with putting the vegan trademark on the label. We will then do an overview on the vegan market and the variety of product categories, followed by what goes on in vegan manufacturing and product development. And lastly, we'll end with what the next steps are before we finish with the Q&A session. The Vegan Society is the first of its kind. We were founded in 1944 by Donald Watson, and we actually came up with the term vegan. It is our definition of veganism that is referenced as the standard. We define veganism as a way of living that seeks to exclude, as far as is possible and practical, all forms of exploitation of and cruelty to animals for food, clothing, or any other purpose. So before we go any further today, I just want to clarify what we at the Vegan Society classify as an animal. We understand the word animal to refer to the entire animal kingdom, which is all vertebrates and multicellular invertebrates. So when we refer to this throughout the charity campaign work or within our standards, this is what we classify an animal to be. Veganism has shown a substantial growth in the past few years across the world. In the UK alone, the number of vegans quadrupled between 2014 and 2019, and that's before even the COVID-19 pandemic took place, which we've seen has had a positive impact on the number of Brits leaning towards plant-based diets, and we'll go over that a little bit later. In Asia, vegans made up 13% of consumers in 2021. A study also in 2021 by Ingredient showed that 90% of people in South America are interested in eating plant-based foods, which is driven a lot by the positive impact it can have on their health. In 2019, Australia's packaged food market was worth almost 200 million. And finally, in 2022, Veganuary saw a record-breaking year, with most of the signups coming from the US. So you can see that the trend, which is seeing veganism grow, is echoing across the globe, and it's not just isolated to one particular country or region. If you're interested in seeing any of the sources of the stats I've shown here, or any of the statistics I'm going to show you today, they're all available on our website, on our news pages, and I've left a link on the slide, but you can check those out. We've also got more statistics available for you there as well. So now we're going to move on to vegan labelling. When it comes to vegan labelling, there can be some confusion. As there is no legal definition of the word vegan, there can be a lot of space for ambiguity. And this confusion for consumers only gets greater when you throw in all the different types of terminology around it, such as cruelty-free and plant-based. But cruelty-free and plant-based doesn't necessarily mean that that product is vegan. Cruelty-free means that it's not been tested on animals, for example, but it may still include animal products or byproducts, and consumers are aware of this. And they don't always trust self-certification either. So that's when brands say that their product is vegan without any official certification backing it. A survey we ran of 1,000 UK and 1,000 US adults showed that 77% of consumers think that third-party certification on products is important. And when it comes to vegan consumers, 94% are looking for that third-party certification when they're shopping for products. Because of the need for some more clearly defined standards when it came to vegan product labelling, we created the Vegan Trademark in 1990. The aim was ultimately to make veganism more accessible for people by helping them easily identify vegan products and to work with brands so that they could create more products for vegans. We set the industry standard for vegan products, and we now have over 60,000 products registered globally with the Vegan Trademark. We're the most trusted and recognised vegan trademark globally. So when brands work with us, they're able to shout about their vegan credentials to their customers with confidence. We've seen interest in the vegan trademark grow rapidly in recent years. As you can see in this graph, 82% of our product registrations have come from the past 5 years alone. I spoke before about setting the standard for vegan products, so I just want to go over really quickly what those standards are. So for a product to be registered with the vegan trademark, it does have to meet our 3 main criteria, which is that it contains no animal products or byproducts, there has been no animal testing or products used in the development of the product itself, and if it's made in the same facility as a non-vegan product, there are procedures in place to ensure that cross-contamination has been managed. We aren't an allergy certification, so they may be made in the same facility, but there does have to be these controls in place. For example, the products have to be stored and prepared separately from those non-vegan products. So now we'll move on to speak about some of the specific vegan product categories. But before I do, I just wanted to mention that even if you have a specialist vegan product that doesn't necessarily fit into one of the categories I'll go over today, it doesn't mean that we couldn't help support you. When we work with the first of their kind products, our media team can help support those brands with press releases, and we find that we get a lot of coverage and interest. So this has happened recently with the first vegan violin to be registered, the first packaging to be registered, the first flooring to be registered. So it just goes to show that anything really can be veganized with a little innovation, and people really love to see these new products. So we're starting with food, which is a category that often comes to mind when first thinking about vegan products. As you've likely seen in the media and through the visibility of vegan brands on the shelves, it is a thriving market. The consumer demand is there, and it's not just vegans that are buying vegan food. We do a survey every year since 2020 on how the COVID pandemic has shaped people's diets, which is what the statistics here are from. And you can see that many people are trying out new plant-based alternatives in the UK. The main reason they gave for cutting down on meat and dairy was health, with 35% choosing that as their main factor for trying out these alternatives. But that was also followed by environmental and ethical animal reasons for making the switch. Leading food delivery companies in both the US and the UK, such as Deliveroo and Instacart, see vegan food as the fastest growing food product category. Deliveroo reported a surge of 105% on orders of vegan dishes between November 2020 and November 2021. And beyond food services, the sector continues to be valuable, with the plant-based meat sector market alone estimated to be worth $8.3 billion by 2025. Now, because it is such a lucrative market, many non-vegan food companies see the value in creating vegan products. But if they don't truly understand what makes a product vegan and why consumers are choosing it, they do face potential backlash. And we saw this when Burger King launched their plant-based Whopper, but cooked it on the grill with the meat product. So obviously, this is a big contamination no-no when it comes to vegan food. And the backlash they received from disappointed customers was huge. So they did quickly see the error of their ways, and they came to us when they wanted to develop their chicken royale. And we worked with them to ensure that their cooking processes were all correctly in place and that the training was passed down in their restaurants. So when they launched their vegan product, it had the Vegan Trademark logo on it and showed that they'd been working with the society on the creation of this product. And it really rebuilt the trust with their vegan customers, and they had great success with it. So much so that they even had their own all vegan pop-up in London recently, which again went down brilliantly and they had great success with, and they're going to start rolling out even more of these vegan products across the restaurants in the UK. As most drinks don't require as strict a labelling as food items, there can be a lot of room for interpretation when understanding the product's vegan status, which is one of the reasons why third-party certification can be really important for consumers when they're looking for products. An interesting fact for you, the first vegan product ever registered with the Vegan Trademark back in 1990 was a plant milk. But since then, we've seen the vegan drink industry has really boomed. We've now got over 3,500 vegan drinks registered, and they're not just milk alternatives, but we've got smoothies, soft drinks, and alcohol too. The global plant-based beverage market was valued at 22 billion in 2020 and expected to have a compound annual growth rate of 14.3% from 2021 to 2028. And a big contributor to this growth is obviously the plant milk market. And just anecdotally, you can see that the number of alternative milk products available in retailers and supermarkets and the service industry has risen substantially over the past few years. You go into any coffee shop now and you can get a plant milk alternative, when a few years ago that wouldn't have been the case. The grocer has reported that between August 2020 and 2021 even, the sales of oat milk grew 49.9% in the UK, up to £146.8 million. So there is a lot of value in the drinks market at the moment. So when it comes to fashion, people's attitude towards animal use in the industry is changing for the better. In 2029, Vogue reported that 2/3 of British adults and 47% of US adults consider fur to be an inappropriate material, with 39% of people in the UK believing leather to be an inappropriate material. But beyond the obvious materials that aren't suitable for vegan consumers, there are a number of components in fashion items that can also contain animal products or byproducts, such as wool, silk, dyes and glues, which is why it's important for vegan consumers that brands are really clear and open and transparent about what their products are made of. According to a report by Grand Review Research, the global vegan women's fashion market was valued at $396.9 billion in 2019, with vegan footwear accounting to 41.3% of this, and the revenue is forecasted to reach $1 trillion in 2027. So you can see how this industry is really becoming quite an important one in the vegan market. Now, when it comes to vegan fashion, consumers are likely to be making these choices for ethical reasons. Sustainability is also an important topic in fashion, and it's often mentioned hand in hand with veganism due to veganism in general being a more sustainable way of living. But just because a fashion product is vegan doesn't necessarily mean that it also has those eco credentials. There are, however, many innovations within the industry that are looking at it from both those angles of sustainability and veganism, and are developing materials that are both good for animals and the planet, using mushrooms, pineapples, cacti, and more. We now have over 6,500 fashion products registered with the Vegan Trademark, and they're across accessories, bags, footwear, clothing, and sportswear. And we really do see the vegan fashion as being the product category on the rise. In 2021, we released our Rise in Vegan Fashion report, where we saw that more than 95% of UK shoppers want more vegan verified fashion. When we asked them which specific fashion categories they would like to see more certified vegan products in, they did lean heavily into the clothing, and the clothing that usually uses leather. Obviously, there's already quite a lot of value in vegan footwear. As I mentioned earlier, almost 50% of the market value of vegan fashion was currently in footwear, but there is still demand there for more. And I think the fashion category, which could really see some more development and growth, is in that jewellery and accessories category. There isn't a huge amount on the market at the moment. You don't see many vegan verified jewellery products. So being able to be innovative and have that vegan verified, first of its kind, can really give your brand something to shout about and that unique selling point. So at the Vegan Society, we classify household items as day-to-day products for your home. So this covers cleaning products, furniture, home accessories, and decorations. We have over 2,000 household products registered with the Vegan Trademark, including the ones shown here, which are the bio-D cleaning products and ethical bedding. Consumers are conscious of the products they use in their homes now more than ever. In a global survey, 81% said they would not buy a household product if they knew it or one of its ingredients was tested on animals. And this has translated into the market, with sales of vegan cleaning products increasing by 80% in Tesco in 2019. As in fashion, buying furniture and accessories for vegan homes can be complicated due to the fabric, dyes and varnishes all having potential to contain animal products. However, there are more products emerging in this market and the interest is there. And in November last year, there was the first ever Vegan Interior Design Week, which showcased over 30 speakers. Unsurprisingly, many vegan consumers and those that are interested in switching over to plant-based products are also animal lovers. The Pet Food Manufacturers Association estimates 59% of UK households share their home with animal companions. So it isn't surprising that with the interest in veganism growing, so too is the interest in vegan animal care. So we actually recently released a report on vegan animal care, which showed that those that were buying vegan food for their animal companions, 27.3% of those with cats and 23.3% of those with dogs, they were choosing the vegan, vegetarian or reduced meat food because they like to try new products with their animals, and 15.9% of those with cats and 16.7% of those with dogs said it was because it was on trend. A recent study published in the journal PLOS ONE even suggested that vegan diet was healthier for dogs, with less vet visits and health disorders. Now, because vegan animal care is such a hot topic at the moment, it's really drawing more people into it, and more people are willing to try it out and giving it a go and seeing if it works for their animals as they expand their vegan lifestyle across all areas of their life. We work with a variety of animal food and treat brands already, including Benevo Dog Food, Simple Systems Grass Pellets for Horses, and Potato Ocean Treats. But animal care doesn't end with food. We also register other products for animal friends. In 2021, we registered our first vegan dog bed by Be Cozy, who switched out the traditional material in dog beds such as leather, wool, and down for Oxford cloth, natural latex, and faux Sherpa fleece and polyester. The announcement of their registration got great coverage across the UK media, and they even had a TV appearance on Steph's Packed Lunch. So, like I mentioned earlier, being the first vegan product of its kind can really work in your favour if you're willing to take that risk. Cosmetics and toiletries is the largest category for the vegan trademark, with over 27,000 products registered. With the popularity of the clean beauty movement, consumers are paying more attention than ever as what is on the label of their beauty products. As mentioned earlier, there can be some confusion between the differences with cruelty-free and vegan, but to meet our vegan trademark standards, a product cannot have involved the use of animals at any stage. This means that no animal testing can have taken place, as well as having no animal products or byproducts in the ingredients list. Being the most trusted and recognised vegan label, consumers purchasing cosmetics products that are registered with the vegan trademark are reassured that they've met those standards and that it covers both the animal testing and the animal ingredients. And it is one of the reasons why so many cosmetic brands have chosen to work with us. With the vegan cosmetic industry estimated to be worth $21.4 billion by 2027, and an increase of 175% in cosmetics launches globally between 2014 and 2019, you can see how the industry has quickly caught on to the value in vegan beauty. One of the biggest beauty brands in the world, The Body Shop, announced last year that they will have all of their products registered with the Vegan Trademark by 2023. But despite what might look like a crowded market within the vegan industry, consumers are still demanding more from vegan cosmetics and toiletries. When we ran our Vegan Beauty Takeover report last year, we found that there was still a substantial demand for more vegan verified products in all beauty categories. Following on from cosmetics and toiletries comes the healthcare industry. Health and veganism go hand in hand, and whilst the most popular motivation behind living a vegan lifestyle is to prevent exploitation of animals, there is a proportion of those who decide to become vegan as they see it as a way to help them live more healthily. In the Vegan Trademark, we work with brands in all aspects of healthcare, including menstrual products, sexual health, CBD products, and supplementation. In a recent study, 87% of Brits who identified as vegan, plant-based, vegetarian, or flexitarian all checked for vegan certification on healthcare products before buying. Vegan vitamins are a very lucrative market, and they're projected to be worth over $13 billion by 2028. In 2005, the Vegan Society launched our own affordable multivitamin called VEG1, and last year we gave it a revamp with plastic-free packaging as well. We sell that directly, and we also have it available for wholesale. And if you are interested in learning more about how to become one of our wholesalers, you can take a look on our website, and there's lots of information available for you there. The last vegan product category we're going to take a look at today is baby and infant. A poll in 2020 showed that 1 in 12 parents in the UK were raising their children on a plant-based diet. So clearly there are a lot of parents out there that are looking for vegan products for their children, but it is still a relatively untapped market. In 2021, we asked a panel of parents that were raising their babies and toddlers vegan what vegan products they would like to see more of. As you can see from the results, the demand was pretty high across the board, but food was the category that stood out the most, with 71.4% of parents looking for more vegan products in that category. These are pretty interesting results, and I think it shows that there is potential for some brands who maybe work in these product areas, but for adults to potentially start developing more products for babies and infants if they're looking for new ways to grow within the vegan market. We do have some pregnancy and parenting products that are already taking advantage of our vegan trademark certification, including Beaming Babies biodegradable nappies, the Cheeky Pandas bamboo baby wipes, and Child Farm's baby bedtime bubbles. So now we've covered the main vegan product categories, it's time to move on to the manufacturing process. So here at the Vegan Trademark, we don't just work with the finished products, because if we want to make veganism more accessible to everyone, supporting vegan products start right at the manufacturing process. We have a variety of raw materials that are already registered with the Vegan Trademark that brands can use to help streamline their registration process. If they're using material that has already been checked, it makes it much quicker for us to get that brand through the registration process. Textiles is a big registration area for us when it comes to raw materials. As I went over earlier when I was talking about the fashion industry, there has been a lot of innovation when it comes to the creation of new materials that are vegan. Some of the fabrics registered with us include Pinatex, the pineapple leather alternative, and Texon Vogue, which is a washable paper material. Using some of these well-known registered materials is in itself a selling point for the brand's final products, and consumers are getting more clued up about the new materials on the market, and they want to buy products that are made from them. We've also registered Rocol's vegan machine lubricant and packaging with Smurfit Kappa. The more of these raw materials that are certified vegan, the more brands can have the confidence to tell their customers about their product's journey. Consumers are more aware than ever of greenwashing and performative actions by brands, and so being able to work with the vegan verified products from the very beginning can be really powerful in telling the story of your product. And when it comes to product development, lab testing can be unavoidable due to consumer safety, product assurance, and the different laws across the globe. However, lab testing doesn't have to mean that it includes animals, and there are multiple labs leading the way in testing solutions that do not require any non-human animals or byproducts across the various industries, from food to clothing. We have registered some of these tests with the vegan trademark and have partnered with labs so that vegan brands can get their products tested while being sure that they're still in keeping with our vegan trademark standards. The labs that we work with already include Eurofins, ChemMap, Bureau Veritas, AMS Labs, Food Forensics, and ADSL. But we're always open to working with new labs that are finding new ways to make vegan testing. And if you're looking for labs as well, if you're looking in your product development, then you can always get in touch with us and we can help find a solution for you. So what next? If you want to get in touch with the team to talk about vegan trademark registration, or you're thinking about developing a new project and want to see how you can make sure you develop it within our standards, there are a few ways you can get in touch. You can email us directly to tmsales@vegansociety.com or visit our website and fill in a contact form. We've also got some extra information on the vegan trademark certification itself on there too, so it's always worth checking out. And if you're an existing trademark holder already and want to extend your range and think about new products you can add to your range, you can either email trademark@thevegansociety.com or contact your account manager. So now you'll get the chance to get your advanced copies of the white paper. We go into a lot more detail on some of the topics mentioned in the webinar today, so don't forget to download and have a look. Okay, so now we'll move on to the Q&A part of today's session. So I've had a question come through here, which is asking about the differences between vegan and plant-based. And obviously those two are terms that people use interchangeably quite a lot in the industry, especially when it comes to when they're referring to food. So although they can be used interchangeably, there are some differences. I know there's some conflicting definitions when it comes to what plant-based means, but I'll just go with the Plant-Based Foods Association standards. So to meet their standard, the product must meet a minimum of 90% plant-based ingredients. So that leaves some room for ambiguity and confusion for consumers as to whether that product actually contains any animal products or not. Obviously, when it comes to vegan and the vegan standards, that's completely, there is no animal products or byproducts that have been used at all in the creation of that product. So it's a lot more kind of clear and concise for consumers. And it is what they're kind of looking for when it comes to making sure their products, they can be confident that the products are like meeting within their own standards as well. So I've had a question that has come through about the type of materials that the need for cosmetics and if they are suitable. So quite often, if you we don't have a list per se of like every single thing, because obviously some things can sometimes contain animal products and sometimes they can't. So what we do is it would be kind of working individually with each brand and each ingredient and making sure they can get the vegan products or find a vegan alternative. And if you email one of our sales team, and they'll be able to kind of go into a little bit more detail on what that means specifically for you. In terms of the information that you'll need to provide when you're applying for your vegan trademark. So we need kind of data sheets which state all the raw materials that have been used in production, informations from your suppliers on each component and the formulations of each component, and then also information and declarations on your manufacturing process. especially if it's in the facility that will also handle non-vegan products, just so you've made us aware of like what the cross-contamination processes are as well. And yeah, I've had a question about where we can download the white paper. We will be emailing that to you at the end of today's session, so you'll keep an eye on your inbox and you'll get the download link from there as well. So that's all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining us. If you have any more questions from today's session, you can send us an email and we'd be happy to help. The contact details are on the slide deck and what we went over before. And yeah, make sure you download that white paper, and I hope to see you soon.